Hello. Today we're going to be painting Kayvaan Shrike from the Raven Guard of Warhammer 40k. Sorry, I'm still getting used to my camera, where my camera is. So we're going to play a little bit of music that is Warhammer based. Well, it's not Warhammer based, but it's songs that feel like Warhammer. So I'll be painting this guy, listening to music, and talk about the Raven Guard. So, I already spray painted him black because the Raven Guard is black and white. So I watered down some paint I'm using, and what I want to do, so I'm just going to paint all over the armor bits that I want, just to give it an extra coating of black. So, a little lore, Kayvaan Shrike is the chapter master of the Raven Guard, and before he became chapter master, he was the first captain in the 3rd Company. So what the 3rd Company is all about jetpacks and doing hit and run techniques. So when he was, after spending time on a world where he got left behind, him and some of his men, they were doing hit and run techniques against the orcs. And when they finally got back to civilization, he was rewarded for his bravery and everything that he did against the orcs, and was promoted to first captain of the Raven Guard. So I got a little black on the metal parts, and that's okay because we're just going to paint over that with Lloyd Belcher, which is a nice metallic. So I hope you enjoy the music, because some of this stuff I need to concentrate on and not really talk about. But if you want to learn more about the Raven Guard, I would suggest One Mind Zidikit's 40 Facts about the Raven Guard. It's a good video. So this is a little channel promotion right there. They are not paying me whatsoever. So as our good Lord and Duncan always says, 2 thin coats. So what I did is I put some tissue paper and some water in a Tupperware container, and I'm pouring the paint right onto the tissue paper, and then I mix it around to get my thin coats. So what I'm using is Necromancer Cloak from Net Games Workshop, Army Painter. It's a nice grayish black, which is really nice. Looks like I need a little bit more. So and so he came back. Shrike came back and became the first captain of the 3rd Company. And one day he was attacking the Tau, and his chapter master died to a Tau. I believe her name was Shao Sun. You Tau players can correct me on that. But because Shrike did everything he could to get his chapter master's body back, he was promoted to chapter master. And you think that for a person, chapter master would be the greatest honor in a chapter, which it is. But for somebody like Shrike, he just wants to go back to his 3rd Company and just basically has somebody else be chapter master. He hates the responsibilities of it, and right now in lore he's trying to find somebody else to take his place as chapter master. And as right now in lore, he is the only Primaris Chapter Master that I'm aware of. So, a little about the Raven Guard, why they're called the Raven Guard. Well, mostly they were named the Raven Guard because Kayvaan Shrike is a Master of Shadows. And I can't remember the reason why Corvus Corvax wanted the Raven Guard to be called the Raven Guard, but they became the Raven Guard. And he has warp powers to basically will himself to be unseen by his enemies. He also has... I'm going to paint this helmet black. Just paint everything. I can repaint the stuff later. I'm terrible at faces with paintbrushes, so I'm probably going to have one of my friends take care of the face for me. But he's looking a little... I don't know how well the camera quality is, but he's a lot grayer now. It might be easier to see if I had not a Skype camera, but oh well. So we're almost done with the first thin coat. Jar fallen, brothers. I hope you guys can hear the music. Hollow's door. The battle begin with swords in the wind. Hail gods of war. I'm sorry, I can't sing. I'll stop. Like, people ask me to join the church choir, and I'm like, that's good. I can't sing, and I'm terribly tone deaf. So what I'm trying to do is just get all the armor bits, Necromancer Cloak, black. And I have to say, Raven Guard is probably my third. It's in my top 3 favorite legions of Space Marines. I really like their Primarch. I really like their Chapter Master. And yeah, my spoiled Space Marine army is Space Wolves. And this music is a combination of Space Wolves, Sisters of Battle, and Salamanders, which is another Warhammer 40k legion of Space Marines. I'm almost done with this first little bit. So, it's really nice to have a dark undercoat because it's easy to cover up and it helps, like, where the armor will be darker, it's much nice. I know I'm just really a beginner painter. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get all the feathers and all the armor bits a grayish black, which is what this color Necromancer Cloak is from Army Painter. It could be thinned up a little bit more. Get the claws, grab the gun, grab the feather, the raven feathers.
Vultures waited for the broken shells that once were bodies. But
And the in case you're interested, the band that's currently playing is I believe it's Powerwolf. No, Manowar. My friend Wesley would kill me if I said Powerwolf. I mean, yeah, it says Manowar, so. Of absolute power. No blade or weapon could harm them. They killed men and horses alike, and all who stood before them died that day. Hail, gods of war! Just got to get the underside. So the nice thing about the tissue paper is it keeps your paint nice and moist, so you don't have to worry about it drying out. So you can make your paint last longer. And you also want to make sure you don't put paint on too thick, or else you'll ruin the detail that's the plastic model has. So I need to get a desk light so you guys can see him a little bit better instead of just my bedroom light. But this is how he's showing up so far. So he's almost completely Necromancer black, with very little blacks remaining. And then once we're done with the black, we can move on to the white. So what I got is an off-white paint called Korvax White. Yep, Korvax White. So, and yes, the paint is named after the Primarch, Corvus Korvax of the Raven Guard. So, even though I'm painting Raven Guard, there's Space Wolf music going, tributes to Space Wolves. And the reason why I like the Space Wolves so much because wolves are one of my favorite animals, and the Space Wolves are pretty much space Vikings. And a lot of my family history comes from Scotland and Denmark, where the Vikings were where they were mainly focused. So I know my family history, my blood demands I play Space Wolves, and that I honor my family by playing them. So we're about almost done. I'm just gonna focus on the jetpack a little bit more. Finish up with some of the black. Focus on the hands a little bit. On the underside, the claws. And I'll post pictures of this on Twitter after today's session. What I should have done is done it before, but oh well. So, what made me decide to add art to my channel, because my channel is still very young, is Bonnie the Fluff Dragon Overlord gives art tips and tricks, and how to make an art business. So shout out to Lonnie the Fluff Dragon Overlord Fluff for the Fluff Dragon. Fluff for the Fluff Lord. Alright, remember to wash your paints before moving on to your next paint. And yes, that is for those who are curious, that's my phone beeping. And yes, what is the sitch? Alright, let's just quickly open up a new page. 40K. Raven, guard. Chapter Master. Kayvaan Shrike. Images. Alright. So he's a little bit lighter than he should be, which I'm fine with. Also, I'm going to be dirtying it up with Noon Oil. And I'm probably going to give it another, just the cover coat over the undercoat. And then I'm making it with a more fine-tooth cone. I'm going to do touch-up with black again, with actual black, just to give it a we'll actually see how he turns out with a shader. I might need to make him blacker, which is always fine. So, Army Painter has very nice paints. They're not as good as Games Citadel paints, which is let's let Belcher like Citadel paints, which has very nice paints. But I really hate that they're not droppers. So if you're not careful, they will dry out pretty fast. And you need to be mixed up some more. Looks like this is a little bit an older pot that I bought. And I'm glad this is an old brush. And it's okay we make mistakes because we're still going to go over with a nerd coat. So we're trying to get like that effect. So it pops out a little bit. Now just remember, at this early in the stage, it's okay to make mistakes. Thin it out. And I'm not confident in getting the head. I will grab that helmet. Alright. There's the helmet. Trust me, it looks a lot better on camera. I'm still very new at this. So we got the white, the first coat of white on. Now we're going to try to get the first coat of Blood Belcher on the claws. And now on the concrete that he's standing on. Alright. Luckily the lead belcher is nice and new. So with the lead belcher, we're going to go over all the middle parts. I missed a spot on the helmet. Alright. Oh. So far, it's looking good. Sorry for all the lack of talking. This is one of my first videos, and I'm also really new at this, so I'm trying to concentrate. So what I'm going to do next time on Dragon Ball Z, is paint and just do write a script and talk about stuff while I'm painting, which might be a little better. Which we're almost done for today's paint session. So on other news, Star Wars is coming out, and I'm on the fence about it because I didn't really like the last movie, but I want this one to succeed. I love Star Wars. I also hate seeing bad Star Wars films. So I really hope this one succeeds. Even though I've seen some of the plot leaks, no spoilers. I won't say any spoilers. But I have to say, some of the elements I find personally a little... But if I can get the movie and the story, if the storytelling is good enough, and I can get over that, I'll love to watch it over and over again. I just really hope the storytelling is up to par. Like, my personal top 3 favorite Star Wars movies is Empire Strikes Back, Rogue One, and The Last Jedi. Alright, I think we got the little back things, and then we got the claws and the gun. I don't know how well. No, that's away from the camera. Well, yeah, I have to get a better camera too. One of my phone cameras better. It probably is. Who am I kidding? But so what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna do a little bit of touch up on the white since I had time to dry. I'm just going to go over some of the things that should not be lead belcher. Just cover up, because I made a mistake right by the hand. I don't know if you can see it. You can see it a little bit. I'm just going to do a little touch up. And get the underside of the helmet. For me, I personally like bigger models. This is my first like miniature model. That's not Def Guard that I painted, because Def Guard you can get away with mistakes because they're, let's face it, ugly. And sometimes an ugly job works very well for Def Guard. Right now, my friends paid me to paint some Def Guard, but I'm still waiting on the paints. He needs to restock me. Now, before we close up shop for this video, I want to have to do some little patchwork with Necromancer Cloak again. Just to just a drip. Thin out the drip. And just cover. Just do another quick run through of the model. Give it a bit more Necromancer. Get some detail on the jetpack. On the under armor. Anywhere where I think I could have missed. Oh, so I need a little bit more Necromancer Cloak. That should do nicely. And remember, my fellow Raven Guard players, it's not just a phase. Hair flip. Because for I'll let you, those who don't know 40K as well as others, that ever since the Raven Guard new upgrade kit came out, they kind of look like Tobey Maguire from Spider-Man 3. And it almost felt like they became a meme overnight. Remember, don't do your paint too thick. Try to spread it out. You don't want any part of the model detail to be obscured. If you think you have too much of one spot, change the light adjustment and just paint slightly over it. Now there is a few black spots and hard to reach paint spots, so I do not have the kind of paintbrush I need. But this is Kayvaan Shrike so far. For no, he's flying off screen. I don't know how well you can see him due to my camera quality. Remember to wash your paintbrushes. Make sure that you get no excess paint on your brush. Also, try not to soak your brush too long. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. Mostly me words babbling. But I hope you enjoyed this video. And I do look forward to posting more painting videos. Hopefully with models that are bigger, where I don't have to be as fine-tuned. Because I know I'm not fine-tuned, and so I'm gonna have one of my friends have to do the detail work because I don't have a surgeon hand. I get too jumpy and nervous, like kind of face. So thank you for joining me tonight, and have a lovely afternoon, morning, night, whatever you're watching this. So have fun. Remember,